It's a very beautiful winter's morning. It is Tuesday the 7th of January, and here we are again down on the plot. Look, here I am. Look, sunshine. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, give you an idea of what's going on in the world. The Midlands has absolute dangerous flooding. There's alarms and alerts out for flooding in the Midlands. There's snow on the hills in Scotland and Pennines. And yeah, it's and here we are. We've had rain, and we've had winds, but we've had no snow. Hang on, turn you around. There we go. You see, we still have a lovely hard frost, but that's caused by the fact that we have a blue sky. Had we got rain clouds, you would have thought, we would have had rain that would turn to snow because we've got frost. That's not the case. The rain clouds would cause a nice thermal barrier, which would keep in the heat of the earth, the ground, emanating out. There's a great big ball of molten lava underneath, and the sun actually warms the ground even through clouds, and that heat is given off, and that's what actually stops a lot of snow and things. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at inside the greenhouse back at home, which we'll do first, and then we'll show you inside the polytunnel here, which, as you see, is still standing and absolutely got tons and tons of moisture. Right, let's have a look inside the greenhouse back at the bungalow. So here we are outside the back of the bungalow, and let me show you around here first of all. Nothing's changed there much. Bought the box up from the allotment for storage. The wheelbarrow, I'll show you next week what it's for. I did plant these two out. I thought I planted that one, but it doesn't appear to be doing anything. I do wonder if and a cat's poo in it, and I do wonder if anything's actually planted in there now. Maybe I made a mistake and forgot about it. So these are just flowers. I've labelled them. So there's tulips, hyacinths. Over here we have some spare strawberry plants from runners. A little bit of rhubarb. Hopefully they'll come through. Ain't those two rhubarb? Yeah. But the rest are strawberries. These were an experiment. I actually put in some hawthorn berries, but nothing's grown, nothing's taken. Maybe they need a little while. I'll leave them. I'm not going to do anything about it. This is a bolted shard from the allotment, and I'll show you what that's for. Two massive water butts. These were 70 quid the pair. I was really pleased. So and these are always full now. During the summer they did get down a lot. So that's the outside. The roses are from another bungalow's little front area. He left, and he wanted me to have the plants. I'll explain why next week. Inside here, some more tubs I've planted, and these are what do you call them? I'll think of it in a minute. But I've got quite a few of these, and again, this is from the garden, little frontal area of the gentleman that left this bungalow area and went off. He actually reunited with his wife after being separated for nearly 10 years, so that was lovely. Growing some cauliflower. Yeah, those are cauliflower, so I'll plant those out in the new year. Oh, we're in the new year, but in a month or so's time. Fuchsias, these are fuchsias. So there's 4 fuchsias, 5 fuchsias, although that one doesn't look as though it took. 4 fuchsias, and that's the mint. Is that mint? No, that's fuchsias. I don't know where the mint is in. Maybe that's the mint. Okay, so what is this? Well, so that's all that's inside the greenhouse at the moment. These I'm going to sell for money to put on events for the local pensioners and things, and I'll explain more of that later on in the series. As you see, the big inside of the greenhouse is terribly full of algae, and on the outside I'll give it a good wash down. Now, I will not use algae cleaners. You see people washing their polytunnels and greenhouses with algae cleaners, and the reason for it is that I do actually grow things in the earth here. If you use an algae killer on your surfaces, it's going to run off into the ground. That ground is a omniculture of bacterias and funguses and algae, and if you actually start using an algae killer on your glass and your plastics, it's going to get into the soil, and you're going to lose some of that goodness in the soil. It will come back. It won't be forever, but it will come back. But you know, why do it? Why not just use a little bit of fairy liquid, or an equally I use small, which is guaranteed not to be harmful. So I use small fairy washing up liquid, and it works perfectly well, and it's not harmful. Right, so what is this stuff? This is worm cast. This is beautiful stuff from a worm farm. I actually made my own. There was like one with liquid on the underneath. That's still got the liquid in, and that will go into these bottles, and that will be used for liquid fertilizer. And then I had several layers of these, and I put holes in the bottom like this, and the worms would go up through the holes. Subsequent layers, I had 3 with holes in, and you know, and it worked. It was a lovely little worm farm. But where are the worms? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. Oh, that's what the shard is for. You let it go often a bit mouldy, and then you feed it. And what do you feed it to? Right, let me show you. I'll take you around here and look at my pride and joy in here. My new worm farm. And inside here, look at them go. They love it. And you can put all sorts of stuff in here, peelings, food. It does look mouldy, don't worry about it, the worms don't mind. But they're converting all of that into worm cast. There's a second layer on the underneath where I put the cocoa coir that you got with it, and that's where you put the worms, and then underneath you get this, and this is where all the liquid from the worms actually goes. Look at the colour of that. That is beautiful. That will be pure fertilizer. As you see, somebody bought me 8 bags of was it OC, the store? They saw it for sale and they bought me 8 bags. I didn't want it, but they bought it anyway. So I've got all that to come. So there you go. So next week, sorry, let's go down to the polytunnel. I'll show you what I'm doing down at the polytunnel on the allotment. So there you have it. That's the greenhouse. Let's go inside the polytunnel. Now I haven't prepared anything. This is as you see it. So this is the actual polytunnel. As you see, I've got the covers down to keep some of the heat inside. Right, so what's going on here? Well, this was how I left this one up so you could see. I'm going to grab these tomatoes for seeds. That's why a few are still standing. I had no blight issues. It's a beautiful open area. I kept them well ventilated. Had no blight issues at all. There was blight on the rest of the allotment site. We had, oh no, sunshine. We had blight in all areas for potatoes and tomatoes, but I had no issues whatsoever. So rubbish, lots of string and things I use for marking out straight lines. Yeah, and well, normal thing, same as Jessie on plot 37 does. If you watch her channel on YouTube, I dig a hole, put in the tomato, and then I tie it to these strings. So what's going on over this side? Well, I put down a lot of cardboard to suppress the weeds. Oh yeah, sorry, we had all of this was tomatoes. We had vines up here. Oh, I just walked into a cobweb. I had vines all the way up here, and then smaller ones all the way around. Absolutely gorgeous. I had tons and tons of tomatoes. So I put cardboard down to suppress the weeds. That's a vine which doesn't seem to be doing very well, but I'm pretty certain it will come back. And on here I have taken tons and tons of cuttings. Ignore that one, I'm full off. There's nothing in it. Tons and tons of cuttings of herbs now, and lavenders. Now I'm pretty certain that 50% of them are going to die, but as you see, some of them seem to be doing all right. And you know, look, they've not faded at all. They've still got the greenness. They've been in here for quite a while. I'm pretty certain a lot of these are going to survive. Now all of these are raspberry or similar cuttings. This is actually a thornless bramble, and look how beautifully that's taken. So that will go out, and these are cuttings off other people's, or runners of other people's. Now of course it's too early to determine if they're going to take or not, because we won't actually see these have got buds. We won't actually see any growth until the spring. Now I keep them watered, I keep them nice and enclosed in here, so who knows, maybe they will. Empty, and the rest of these are empty. These are just all spare ones that I had. I was going to put in strawberries, but as somebody gave strawberry runners, but as somebody gave me access to like millions of strawberries, this is what I actually did. Right, what's in here now? 2 years ago you saw me plant potatoes in these bags. I haven't touched them. They grew again this year. I didn't take them out, and I am saving them. I'm going to empty them out in the spring, see what's in there, and if they're looking good, I will use them as seed potatoes. I have no idea. I don't want to touch them just yet, but there was no blight. They died off naturally. So let's have a look. We'll see what's going on. So that's the inside of the polytunnel. It's doing quite well. Look at that chrysalis. So it's doing quite well. It's robust. It hasn't actually had any issues at all. One mouse did get in here at the bottom. I chased him out, and I've put a tile over there, and I will mend that at some time. But other than that, everything else in here is absolutely gorgeous, very secure. The rubbish and stuff obviously will get cleared out before I start planting again. But I'll be putting a lot of seedlings in here. This is actually a much warmer, nicer environment than the greenhouse in many respects. So that's it. That's the polytunnel. You've seen the greenhouse. So what's going to happen now? Right. Well, let's have a quick show of you what's going on out here. We've had some really harsh frost. It's very cold. The broad beans are doing okay. The peas are doing tragically. I think the majority of them are gone. Yeah, you can see they're not doing too well at all. But there are a couple that might hang about. Oh well. You can hear robin chirping. The plants are doing really well. I'm a bit worried about frostburn, but you know, who knows. These are flowers and the alliums and daffodils and all sorts of stuff. So next steps is going to be to transport all of that lot into there, and all the leaf moulds back into there, tidy up this area, tidy up the polytunnel. But next episode I will explain what this is about, and I will show you exactly how I use it, what I do with it, why it's here, and where I get it from. So join me next week for another thrilling episode of my allotment. There you go. Enjoy. Don't forget, like, subscribe, do all the things that YouTube likes to increase the potential of me getting more views. Take care, have fun, see you soon. Bye bye.